Well, hello and welcome to another edition of the Submit Wrestling Cards pod. Can we still call this a podcast? I don't really think.
No,
No.
YouTube channel, stroke hobby, addiction,
Yeah,
rehab, uh,
therapy session.
wrestling get
Yeah,
together.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think we kind of we originally we thought we would really go to podcast, but I think we've just preferred
yeah,
the video because we can show the cards and we can talk about them, and it's
yeah.
easier that way.
There's so many other great podcasts out there as well, so we'll be different. Yeah,
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 exactly.
yeah,
Yes, so we put a poll up last week, I think it was, and the poll was just before. Yeah, he's already celebrating. Just after, sorry, Halloween, and it was the poll of destruction, we called it, because we went for Kane, which was my choice,
yeah,
versus the Undertaker, which was Kev's choice, and
yeah. And who won?
yeah, lo and behold, yeah, of course.
I
Of course.
think is anyone beating the Undertaker when it comes to trading cards?
Well, it's like
Hogan.
lambs to the slaughter, really, isn't it? If you was to put
Yeah,
a poll up, I think the only way you'd be able to top it would be as if you went sort of top five as the other person.
yeah.
You know, The Rock or Hogan or Austin.
Oof.
You know, you'd
No,
have it.
that'd be a good one. You
Yeah.
need to do the Rock, yeah.
Oh,
He
yeah.
is so good, isn't
Absolutely.
he? Hasn't he come out this past week and said he's going to run for presidency one day? Could you
Well,
imagine it?
well, the thing. So we've seen this before, haven't we? We've seen it's quite common for wrestlers, or shall we say, like on-screen stars, especially in American
Yeah,
politics, to go into those places. Jesse the
yeah.
Body Ventura, Kane, in question as well.
Kane's done it, hasn't he? Arnie,
Arnie, yeah,
maybe
absolutely,
not wrestling, but movie star, isn't he? So
close enough. Close
icon.
enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Reagan, Reagan was
Oh,
a
Reagan,
screen star
of
before he became
course.
president. So
Yeah,
yeah, I wouldn't put it past The Rock for trying, but I also wouldn't be shocked if he did win.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Finally, The
Yeah,
Rock has come back to the White House.
all it would take is
Yeah,
like in
yeah,
his original like what's the word
yeah,
when they do their inauguration speech? He just does the eyebrow and of
yeah,
course the crowd
yeah.
erupts, like, and there's the glass smashes in the
Yeah,
background and Stone Cold. It'd be ridiculous. It'd
yeah,
be ridiculous.
yeah. It'd be ace.
Um, so yes, so we had the poll up for Undertaker versus Kane. Undertaker clearly won, and I think we're going to approach this slightly differently because we're going to normally we would do like a history section to say a little bit of an introduction as to who they are and talk through sort of
Yeah.
their legacy almost.
You don't really need that with the Undertaker. I mean, he's a standout guy of wrestling, isn't he? All right, he debuted in 1990. He won so many titles, but what didn't he do? He carried the WWF, WWE for 30 years, and
Mm, mm.
he couldn't go and get another Undertaker tomorrow. Saying that, you couldn't do that with most of the talent, but the Undertaker, think about how good that guy was, just,
Yeah, it's a legacy that we could probably do 2 or 3 hours talking through his accolades and what he'd achieved.
yeah,
Um, and like most, big stars come from very sort of humble beginnings. Started
yeah.
as in WCW as a bit of a jobber. He didn't really have any kind of
Yeah,
gimmick as
that's right.
such.
Was he tagged with Sid? I can't remember the name. It will come to me as soon as I go off that, of course. Skyscrapers, wasn't it?
Oh
Or
yeah,
was
I
it
think
with
so. Yeah.
Sid? Oh, I don't think it was with Sid. But yeah, so he's been in the business a good while.
Mm.
Have you ever heard of the story how he got into wrestling?
Mm,
So it was AWA in Texas,
right.
and he waited in the corridor for some 18 months to get a chance to talk to, I think it was Fitz von Erich. He seen him. He's like, "What are you doing waiting around?" He's like, "I'm trying to get a little go in the business." And it's like, "Okay, I'll train you up." He like waited and waited for this chance, and lo and behold, he turned out to be the Undertaker.
Well, that kind of dedication, I think, is quite testament to his
Hey,
character, doesn't it?
yeah,
Hanging around for
yeah,
18 months just to get in there. Once you're in there, he took full advantage, I suppose, didn't he?
amazing.
And
Yeah,
there's really early sort of relationships that he had with like Charles, which was Papa Shango, Godfather. Um,
oh,
you know, things like that, that you can see the sort of ripples through the wrestling sort of legacy over the years as to sort of, I think, I don't
Yeah.
know what stage, what do they call it when they sort of manage the locker room? They become like the judge,
Yeah.
the locker. There's a phrase for it they use, don't they? I can't think what it is.
Yeah.
But the
Oh,
Undertaker was that for a
you've got
long,
me thinking.
yeah, he was that for a
Yeah.
long time. And that's just how well respected he was. What he said goes. You know, he was the decision
Yeah.
maker in a lot of the locker. Well, most of the locker room. The clique was something separate. That kind of threw a spanner.
And on top, yeah, on top of that, though, we could back it up. I mean, he wasn't like a jobber. He wasn't like a mid card guy. It was like so many great matches with the Undertaker, and it's like I like watching back over his WrestleMania matches, whether it's the early stuff or what's it, 26, 27, where he wrestled Shawn Michaels, and I'm just like,
Yeah,
fuck,
it
this
massive.
is next level.
Yeah,
Yeah,
massive.
so
And you know, the streak is,
yeah,
you know, I think
should
they.
never have been broken.
I,
No, Brock, what have you
I
done?
agree. I agree. I don't think it should have been broken. I think they had to do something to kind of, I don't know, keep it fresh, which unfortunately meant
Yeah,
breaking it, which is just bonkers. But hey,
yeah,
whatever. You know, that's what they
yeah,
wanted to do.
that's it. What
So,
else was I going to say about Undertaker? A good guy as well. I mean, you
mm,
hear of wrestlers, celebrities, and next minute they're caught up with a drug charge or, saying some slurs they shouldn't have made. But Undertaker is that guy that has kept this image for 30 years. It's a good, clean image. And you get like kids of 8 years of age to my dad, who's like 66 next month, and he's like, respect to him, man. He's like,
yeah, yeah.
proper fella.
You don't hear of
So,
any, yeah, you don't hear of any negative or bad stories, and for the most part, he's always really cordial with fans as well. He's always really sort of, you know, if he's not over the moon to meet fans, then he's very civil and quite. And he spoke of, I think there was parts in the Broken Skull podcast. He was talking about various stories about when he goes through airports and people would stop him and talk to him, and he always said,
yeah.
you know, I try and give them as much of my time as possible, but if I've not had any sleep for 30 plus hours
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
from one city to the next and I'm delayed and I'm cranky, you know, I'm going to be a little bit testy, but I try and be as friendly as possible. And that's that dedication again to the
Yeah, you think like, how would you be?
mm.
If
Oh,
someone come up to you, I mean, you get me after a day's work and I want to punch someone in the face. It's like, hi, mate, you all right? Are you in the queue? Get out of my way.
you're
That's
mad.
how it rolls, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Definitely. So,
But I think again, it's the because he was so um not careful. He was so proud of the image that he had, the character that he had. Although the character was, you know, this dark, you know, Satanist or whatever.
yeah,
Whatever. It was the impact. He knew the impact that he was having with the audience, and that's what he wanted to always protect. And I think he
yeah.
still does that now to a great degree. Um,
Phenomenal, man.
yeah.
Absolute phenomenal.
Mm,
How he's done that. It's just like, I mean, like Kane, for instance, it's like, I
mm,
wouldn't say he broke character, but well, yeah, that's another thing. But like he unmasked, and it's like, well, you kind of killed some of the mystery to it.
mm,
You shouldn't have unmasked. Like, should have kept it the same. Austin turning good guy. That should never have happened.
yeah.
Hogan went NWO. Undertaker was always Undertaker, wasn't
Well, let's uh, let's skim over the badass.
he? Well,
We'll
I
just jump
think
over
it had
that.
to
We'll ignore,
change.
yeah, we'll ignore that happened.
Yeah,
But I know I've heard him say lots of times he needed to change his, or he wanted to change his character. And there's a small, I think it's about a 3 or 4 month period where you see him change from the Undertaker to the American Badass, and it's horrible. It's a horrible. He tried to do it
yeah,
like a slow transition, and it's really,
yeah,
it didn't work. And he knew it wasn't going to work overnight, and it wouldn't work if he did it over period of a few months either. He he knew that it wasn't going to be a smooth transition, and unfortunately, it wasn't. and he only stuck with the badass maybe 2 or 3 years, was it? It wasn't even really even that, I don't
Yeah, it
think.
wasn't long, was it? So like
And then there
2000 to 2002, something like that.
it wasn't particularly long. And then there's like
No,
elements of the badass now in sort of the more recent iterations of the Undertaker. So he kind of blended the two a little bit towards the end, but
yeah.
I think for me, I was always much of early Undertaker for me was that's my
Oh,
area of love and focus for
amazing.
that character.
Yeah. Longevity as well, how he's kept it going,
Mm,
both of them. So
absolutely.
anyway, we're talking about wrestling cards, and does it get any bigger than the Undertaker? I mean, like people will look on websites now and see Hogan 82 card get 50,000, a Rock card get a certain amount, Ric Flair, Andre. Is the Undertaker that next card? Is it already that card?
Um,
It's just that question, isn't it?
I think there's some difficulties with the Undertaker's, shall we say, rookie year where cards are concerned. Some things we'll go through a little bit in detail today, and some things we'll kind of skip over. But let's bring some cards on the screen and see what we're dealing with
Yeah.
here, actually.
Oof. I
So
like how you've done that. Dealing with cards.
that's professional. Oh, it's professionalism. That's it. There we go. So
Yeah.
talk us through what we've got on the screen here, Kev, for the people that are listening and not watching.
Right. So me and Jack have said, look, we'll try and narrow it down to like 5 cards each. I was like, really? And to be fair, I've spent like 2 or 3 days thinking, how the hell can I just narrow it down? So I'm having 6, Jack. Simple as that. On the screen, though, is, as Jack was saying, the rookie year, 1991. And these are Merlin and WWF wrestling cards. The one on the left is card number 103, and on the right is 104, right next to each other. On the left, for me, because I always search for this card because it's probably my favorite card, and it's the hardest of this set to pick up. I don't know why, but finding 103 Undertaker card,
Oh, yep, sorry.
it's very hard to get. The one
Yes.
on the right is the best in ring pose for me when the Undertaker, nothing could get near him. He was indestructible, and I think of all the bouts he had at that time. He'd get whacked with a chair and it wouldn't hurt him. I was like, what?
Mm,
If that happened in WF in 91, then you got whacked by a chair and you're out cold for a week.
yeah.
Undertaker is pervious to this pain and he's carried on. So they're my 2 favorites from this set. The one on the left is my all-time favorite.
Hmm.
It's Undertaker with his hands on the coffin. That what was it? Paul Bearer's like parlor, little interview room that he had, and all the vignettes that went with it, and all the stars he used to interview. So I think that's a time as well that I was fresh into wrestling, and late 91. It was real to me then, and fetches so many good memories. So your thoughts on these two, Jack?
Yeah, sort of perfectly summed them up, really. The image of him with his hands on the coffin is my number one card out of all of the
Yeah,
wrestling cards that I can collect. It's my number one card. It comes in a variety of languages. So there's English, German, and Italian.
Italian. Yeah,
There
that's it.
is also a German magazine release from the what's the magazine called? Pop Rocky magazine.
Hot Rocky. Yeah,
And
yeah,
there's also the mini version as well. So there's actually 5 versions of this card, 5 official, shall we say,
yeah,
releases of this card. I'm grateful that I have all 5. Some of them are incredibly difficult to find in even mediocre condition. The Italian one is always expensive, and the mini version is so hard to find in any condition. But I think as wrestling cards go, in a portrayal and a depiction of a character and what that character is and who their character is, this is a near perfect card for me. It's the
yeah,
Undertaker. What do Undertakers do? They process and go through a procedure of ceremonies to deal with the passing of people. And he's got his hands on a coffin. There's candles in the background. It says RIP in the background. There's lilies on the coffin, which is the flower of death. Everything in this picture absolutely tells you everything you need to know about the character. and anyone could have played that character. It didn't have to be Mark. It could have been anyone at the time. It could have been Sid. You know, it could have been anyone that could have played the character. However, he
Yeah.
obviously adopted it very well. So I think as photos go, this is a well-used photo. It's a heavily used promotional photo across all types of print media.
Yeah.
But as cards go, for me, it's number one. There's other cards in this set, isn't there? There's one with him stood face to face with Sid, which is West.
Sid, yeah.
There's another,
The,
I think, with Paul as well. Stood
yeah.
next to him.
I think there's a couple with Paul Bearer,
Mm,
isn't there? There's
mm.
one where they're interviewed, and I think there's one where they're in the ring. I think there's 7 in total.
Yeah, I think I think there is
Yeah.
6 or 7.
Yeah.
I'll take. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm definitely going to take your word for it because I can't think
Yeah.
how many there are myself. So this is where there's a little bit of confusion over a rookie card and a rookie year, because
Yeah.
this is a rookie year because it's 91, which was the first time he came onto official print. However, he debuted in 90, at the end of 90, didn't he?
November. Yeah.
So if we move on to the next card, this is another rookie year. So
Yeah.
Kev, talk to the people. What's this one?
I think this is his most iconic card when you associate a rookie card, isn't it? It's card 64 from the WWF Classic set from 1991. And getting this one signed up is quite a desired thing for wrestling card collectors. Again, the pose, full headshot of the Undertaker and the body shot with the tie.
Mm.
Just that card people are trying to chase, isn't it? So,
Mm-hmm.
would you say it's hard to pick up?
No,
Not really, not really.
it's
But again, I think there's about 5 PSA 10s.
Well,
So
we know where my thoughts on this whole set, this whole blue border classic set, is just
your
that
favorite set.
it's my favorite set of all time because they absolutely don't whiten around the edges really, really easily, as you can see in this exactly in this picture. Is what's happening.
Jack hates his set. Everyone, it's like it's just like
this is the set that you always used to see kicked around on the floor in the playground in the puddle.
Ooh,
You know, this was the set.
God, he's
Always
getting nasty now, isn't he?
absolutely. This was the set that had
Yeah.
muddy footprints on them in the cloakroom because the kids just threw them on the floor.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a very desirable card. It's extremely difficult to get in good condition. It's a thin card as well. I think that doesn't help with if you have this card
True.
next to the other Merlin card. The other Merlin card, the one we just saw, is a lot thicker, so it's a lot easier to maintain at a higher quality. These were really flimsy, so their surface damage is really easy. So yes, what are you paying for this card? Even of like, you know, medium quality, you're probably paying anywhere between sort of, I'd say up to $20, something like that, £15.
So,
If it's a
I'd go along
mediocre quality, I'd even say that's probably a bit too much. But
there is 2 versions, you know. There's like a slightly different, bigger. It's millimeters bigger, but that's the American version because they had a very similar card set to what Britain and Europe had, but it's bigger and I think it's more of a matte finish. I think the American cards do shine up better, and there's a bit more quality to them than the Merlin ones. So
yeah, if you put them sort of one on top of the other, you can see it is, you know, a couple of millimeters. The whole border is slightly bigger.
Would you? Yeah, I was gonna say, would you put it on your Mount Rushmore of wrestling cards? No. Would you not put it there?
No, I think because I dislike the series of this set so much that nothing from this set for me would ever go in my top 10 cards.
Top 10, yeah. I mean, like Mount Rushmore for me. I'd probably say Hogan 82, Austin from 91, maybe an Andre the Giant from 82. Then maybe I'd go for The Rock, but this Undertaker card is definitely top 10 for me, only because it's the Undertaker. Very easy to get the set though when you think about it.
Oh gosh, yeah, you can buy the whole set for about $50.
Yeah,
not difficult to buy the whole set, and people will resell this one and a couple of other The Undertaker ones individually. But so what? You know, it's
the game, isn't it?
Card for the reason because it's such a popular card within the Undertaker's rookie repertoire, shall we say?
Yeah, we weren't really going to talk about it, but I'll just mention it, Jack. Having a signed one would be a different ball game again, wouldn't it? So
Yeah, I mean, so a bit of a caveat for the audience here. When we were speaking about putting the Undertaker cards together for this episode, I came up with the idea of saying, shall we not include cards that have been hand signed from fans, because that would then make that literally any card would be desirable for what we would want. So
yeah,
any autographed card, we were saying, really, let's not include those, because there's so many autographed cards that we think are amazing. We'll just stick with base cards or numbered or parallels or whichever. But
yeah.
yeah, we kind of left autograph cards aside because they
That's
would.
another episode. Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's probably a decent shout, actually. Best
yeah,
autographed cards we could find. That's probably a good idea.
yeah.
So moving on,
Oh,
talk to the people.
yeah. This is from Germany. It's not Merlin. It's Panini 1995, and it's a wrestling sticker. I forget the number, but the eyes, the gloves, rest in peace. I like the pinkish purple background. It's like a maroon background, isn't it?
This is going to
Oh,
sound probably the most effeminate comment that I'm ever going to make on this show. It matches his eyes.
yeah, 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 yeah. And his lipstick.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Oh, gosh.
Well, just about yeah. So just thinking back to that time of Undertaker 1995 and carrying the company, amazing.
Yeah. I think that's definitely something to touch upon. You've mentioned it a few times. There was definitely a few years where the WWF at the time it dipped. The Monday Night Wars, they were losing massively out to WCW. Hogan was running the show for WCW, and really for the top roster of the WWF, you're putting the Undertaker and Shawn like right at the top. They're kind of top of that pile, and then Shawn lost his smile, so who's left with the Undertaker? That's
Yeah,
and
with a bit of Bret Hart who was playing off. Yeah,
yeah. So I think this is again a really good photo that's used here. This one you don't see in much print media at all. A German set on its own, so it wasn't really released in the States or anywhere else.
yeah,
Picks the character. He's got his eyes rolled back. So he's got the whites of his eyes showing, and very typical of that. When he used to sit up,
yeah. That's it.
you'd do your worst,
Sure.
and he'd just sit up again, and you'd think, oh, how am I going to defeat him? He's almost primed in that position, ready to sit up.
It's not an overly tough sticker to find. It's all right. It's not the easiest, but I thought tracking it down and then one popped up from Germany. I thought, well, add it to the collection, and that for me would look amazing signed right across his name, where you've got it in his face, like Undertaker. So that'd be a holy grail.
I doubt very much he's probably ever signed one.
Yeah, it's a good thought, actually. Yeah.
The thing we've had this conversation a few times, because the cost of having the Undertaker sign any item is minimum sort of $200, £200, £200, $250. So when you want him to sign something, you're going to want to pick something that's absolutely amazing for him to sign. And I always think in situations like this, yes, that kind of sticker would look amazing signed, but would you?
Yeah, that's the thing,
If
isn't it?
you
Yeah.
only afford one, you can only get one thing done because it's expensive. So would you submit that one for him to sign?
That's a question. Yeah. Cool sticker. Same with this one. This one is a Merlin WWF from 2002. Deadman Inc. I know you weren't a fan of that era for Undertaker. It just reminds me of him riding that Harley down to the ring, Attitude Era, everything else going off, and just a good time for me. So fetches that back. And I kind of like the silver outside of the red background.
It's Magic Box.
And no, it's Merlin, I think.
Okay.
Is it? Yeah, 2002. It's just something different. Like, how many other shots are you going to have of the Undertaker with sunglasses on?
Yes.
Not too many.
So I agree with you there, because that American Badass run was quite short in comparison to his entire career. And again, that Badass sort of for most fans, that we just skip over it. We don't really think of it as being that good. Really, any photos or any references to him in that get up as such, I suppose there's not really that many. I know there's it's a Magic Box set. I think it's 2007. I can't. It could be 2000. For some reason, it's
Yeah.
2007 head, but I'm not sure. But it's a hollow, and it's a logo of the Grim Reaper with some text around the outside of it. The reason why I didn't
Oh,
include it
yeah.
is a picture of him, but it's like
Yeah.
a biker's badge patch that
Yeah.
they have. It's that kind of logo.
Yeah.
Um, really easy sticker to pick up, not difficult at all. But
Yeah.
it's again, it's one of those few references to him going through that American badass period.
Yeah.
Um,
That very cool sticker. So I found this one in a pack pull actually. So I was like, sometimes when you're opening up retro packs, you're like, oh, see what I find. Then you find, right, you might not find the Holy Grail, but you find a sticker, a card, and you're like, you like that one.
mm,
I'll have that one for the collection. So
yeah,
that's one that I kept out. So that's
I
pretty cool.
did the same with and there's a picture on the channel of me submitting
Yeah.
that Stone Cold and Vince lenticular.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
pack pulled that, and I remember looking at it. I never really used to be a fan of the card, and I pulled it and sort of gave it a real good inspection and thought, "Do you know what?
Yeah.
That's a really, really good card. I'm going to get that one."
Yeah. So I think with what you're saying there, Jack, say if you look on eBay, Mike's website, Wrestling Cards Worldwide, you think, oh, I'll have a look at cards, and you could find any old card, and it's like, oh, should I buy it? Should I not? Then you buy it, and it comes through the post, and you open it up. It's like, this is actually amazing in hand. So it's having it in hand rather than on screen. It's a different game, isn't it? It's like you appreciate it more. Well, I do. I
Yeah, no, I
hope
think
you feel the same, like so.
yeah, it's a really good point. I think it's I've opened up so many packs of and boxes and tins. I'm sat next to my I can swear now because it's over the like five fucking slam attacks. They can fucking suck something. I just fucking do my head in. I don't normally swear on this thing, but I was really annoyed
It
with.
does.
Yeah, I hated them before, and from chasing a particular card, which I'll go through in a minute. I've got 3 tins full, right,
Of
of
junk.
slam attacks of
Yeah.
junk, and then I've got another 2 tins waiting to open, which I'll do a video on at some point. And there are certain sets which I'm just not going to enjoy. However, there is a tin that I've got all of my hollows from that slam attacks that I pulled from, and I went through it the other day, and I was like, you know what? There's some really really cool
Yeah.
cards in here. Like I've kind
Yeah.
of wrote it off and gone, oh, I'm not
I
bothered.
think the trouble with slam attacks is there's so much junk. I mean,
Mm,
stuff that shouldn't have been printed. If they had narrowed it down from 380 cards to 180, they
mm,
probably would have sold more and more people would have appreciated it. But instead, like you're getting belts and like no time limit signs and
yeah, useless.
referees that you don't know. And I'm like, this is just a waste of
There's a
paper.
bell in one of them. In one,
Yeah. Why
why
do I
do
need a bell? The only bell I liked was a dinner bell, and that was in school. Simple as, you know.
Yeah, it's useless. It's useless.
But
We've said
next time I find one, I'm grading it.
we've said before we were going to do a show on the worst cards and stickers. And I think one of the rules that we imposed immediately was it can't be a card or a sticker, mainly a sticker, of like a 4 sticker set of like Hogan's left knee. Like it
Yeah,
can't be, because that's just useless. It can't be that. And I'm
yeah.
sure we'd be able.
Oof.
I'm going to
Yeah.
put some stock into this one. There must be some that one of from Championship marketing of Tony Schiavone stood in front of that
Oh yeah.
block of flats.
That's ridiculous. Why would you even make that as a card, you know?
I'm going to find. I'm going to get a picture of that. I'm going to edit it. I'm going to superimpose it on the screen now, so you can all laugh along with us at how ridiculous this card is. It's from
No,
91. It's WCW Championship.
it's so bad.
It's the
It's
worst.
so
One of
bad.
the worst cards. Oh, and the Teddy Long ones from the Impey 91
Yeah,
set, those dual Teddy Long ones. Okay,
yeah.
we're getting off track here. So yeah, so they're your 5 cards. Let's
Oh,
jump
I
over.
think I've got one more, haven't I?
Have you?
Have I got one more? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Have you?
I'm sure I've got like a modern one.
All right.
This is a classic as well.
Oh, you have as well. Yes.
Oh, well, you
Tell you what.
see,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
playing.
yeah,
He's
yeah, yeah.
playing.
It's that one there. There we go.
There you go.
There we go.
Oh, look at that.
Right. Yeah. So talk through
It's
it.
only it's only like a modern, I think it's 2020, and I thought it's very comic book, retro looking as well. Oh, just look at that, man. There is quite a few like Stone Cold, The Rock as well from this set.
Yes. So I bought
Brilliant.
one of these already graded at a 9.
Wow.
And I bought, I think
Yeah.
I paid about 30 pounds for it. And when I messaged the
Brilliant.
seller, it was on eBay, and I said, "Oh, have you got any more? You know, why are you selling it?" And they were really upset they didn't get a 10. And I thought,
Yeah.
"You've got a 9. That's really
Yeah.
good." And they were like, "Oh,
That is the thing, isn't it? It's
I'm
like,
selling it
oh, it's
off
it's
the
it's
grade."
worthless now. It's not a 10. It's
Yeah, and
what? It's fucking 9. It's just like,
exactly. That's what I thought.
yeah.
And it's a get graded 9 as well, which could be, you could cross grade to PSA and you could come out with a 10. So that's in
Oof.
my little pile, along with about 5 or 6 others
Yeah.
from get graded, which are 9s and 9.5s.
Or could it go to an 8? That's the
Mm.
I would laugh my bloody head off if that happened. It's like, ha ha.
But it's a great
No,
card. I mean, again, looking at the card, as you say, it's a cartoon sort of sketch design of a photo. I know the photo that they've done the sketch from, and
yeah,
it's a really good sketch. It's really nice. It's really colourful. Unlike sort of a lot of the pictures from the Undertaker, the background of the sketch as well is
yeah,
really bright and bold, and it's in that heritage style.
yeah.
From
I don't like the Wonder Woman logo at the bottom left. Because I call it the Wonder Woman logo. It's WWE, isn't it? But like, but everything else, I think I paid like £4. I was like, really? Okay,
It's not an
that'll do.
expensive card. Not an expensive
No,
card at all.
it doesn't have to be, does it? It doesn't have to cost you like
No,
4,000 or 5,000, whatever it is. I'm
no,
happy with that.
absolutely not. But it's a quite an original design, and it's an original sort of approach to an Undertaker card, other than it being either a logo of the glove or the or a photo of him. You know, do a sketch. It's a great
Yeah,
card. I really like it, and I'm glad that I've got one in my collection.
yeah. Right. So that's my top 5.5, Jack.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think next thing is then to get onto your top 5 and
Absolutely.
see
So
what it fetches to the Undertaker card world, eh?
yeah, well, we've been for a surprise, I think. Right, so let's have a run through from my side, cards and the stickers that I've chosen for the Undertaker. Now, I have, against my own judgment, I suppose, I have avoided one of my favorite cards, which is the 1994 Topps Action Packed card. There's 2 of the Undertaker. Well, if you're being picky, there's probably 4 of the Undertaker in there. One of him kneeling down. There's a gold one of him in a casket. There's the gold one of him kneeling down, which is numbered to 250 that he signed, and then there's the prototype. So there's 4 versions that feature the Undertaker from that set. None of what I'm going to go through today have any have I featured any of those, but I was going to do a bit of a joke at the end and do the 4 cards. Like, oh look, there's another one, oh, and here's another one. I thought, no, I'll be. You're better than that, you know. You're smarter than that. I'm not going to put you through that. So let's have a look through the first choice that I've got. Quite a common sticker.
Oof. Oh yes,
So
I do like that one.
This is the 1993 Merlin sticker set. And again, it's of the Undertaker kneeling down. It's a single pose of him, black background. It's obviously a promotional shot.
Yeah.
But I think it's just a great photo. The black and the
I think, yeah, I think that pose would look well in like a Littlewoods catalogue, modeling clothes or fashion. Yeah, come and get your winter range now.
Yeah,
It's like,
handing out like flyers or something, like kneeling down,
that's it.
out of flyers.
Yeah,
I just think it's a really good picture. I think it's an underused picture. I think this could have been used a lot more, but I think this is 93, so we've had a couple of years of the Undertaker being on the scene. He's really rounded his character and his look, so we're kind of really seeing, I would say at this stage, kind of what the final iteration of this version of the Undertaker is. We don't see a change of
yeah,
his character really until we get towards the Attitude Era, which he then goes into the Ministry, and I think there's a bit of a change of the look then, but it still fits within this gothic, dark sort of undertone almost.
Still quality. Yeah, such a cool sticker, that one. That
Yeah,
one's from the Undertaker album as well, I call it.
absolutely.
With the Undertaker on the front cover, Merlin. There's a whole range of quality stickers in that album for me. I'm like, wow. I look
Yeah.
through it all day. I'm like,
Mm.
Undertaker. Who else? So like 1, 2, 3 Kids got some great stickers in that.
Yeah,
Obviously, Brett.
there's some really good stuff. The album itself is, I'd love to have the full set loose. And it's not,
Yeah,
you can put the time in and you can get them, and it's not difficult.
no,
Where do you draw the line with the hollows? Because some of the hollows are starting to get really silly for their money, which, for whatever reasons we've discussed on the channel before,
yeah,
they're probably going to be your most difficult ones to pick up. However, I spoke to a seller only last week on eBay who has I'm not going to mention their name, that's not fair, but they've got a huge collection of stickers for sale, mainly German stickers. And I've dealt with them a couple of times, and I paid £15, I think, and I got the full set. Well, I already have them. This is just a spare set. So for £15, I got the full set of the Undertaker cards from this stickers from this album, with all the pallbearer ones as well, including the
wow.
hollows. So
That's a bargain in itself, isn't it?
yeah,
That's brilliant.
I got a very good deal. They're very, very good quality. But this on its own, this particular sticker is probably about £4 or £5, maybe $6, $7. Again, it's
Yeah,
not expensive, but it's a great sticker.
yeah. I
Now,
like the yellowy gold outline to it.
yeah, it's a
I
great.
don't know why. It just, yeah.
It kind of almost matches the border of the WWF logo, that gold shine
Yeah,
I kind of have.
very true. Yeah, yeah.
I will make a point here that if you are wanting these stickers to be graded, be wary, because they are slightly bigger, and I mean millimeters bigger than your standard card. And I've had this happen twice where I've sent these stickers to be graded and they have been returned to me. Once they were returned to me outside of the slab, saying they were too big and they didn't have the slabs to support them. And then the second time, PSA
Oh,
said, we've damaged the card by actually slabbing it and casing it.
oof.
So we're not going to grade it anymore, and we're just going to pass it off as an authentic card. I still got charged full price for them to do that. They
Wow.
damaged the sticker casing it. So be wary if you do want to have these graded, because they are slightly bigger and they're very fragile. We know stickers are very fragile. We've discussed that before. So be wary if you do want to get them graded. It's a shame because there's some awesome stickers in this set, but yeah, be wary.
Yeah.
So
Next one, what have we got?
Yep, 93. We're still staying within the 93 year.
Oh my god.
Boom.
This is from the Undertaker album, isn't it?
Yes.
Sorry, the Bret Hart, the Pink album, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Now
Wow.
this is predominantly a German sticker.
Oh yeah. The German card, is it? But the
Oh,
sticker is the same as well for the album,
yes,
isn't it?
exactly right. So this is the sticker, but it
Of
does also
course.
appear as well. So there's a couple of. So I love and I hate this design in equal measure. It's like Marmite, and I'll go
Yeah.
when I make these points. By the way,
Ooh.
you will never unsee them from this card sticker. This picture here is specifically.
Don't kill it, Jack. You don't have to do this.
I have to. I'm afraid I have to. I have to critique
Oh,
this in
fuck's
a
sake.
certain way. Right. So let's build ourselves up to this.
Ooh, drum roll.
Yep. Drum roll somewhere. I might add one on the edit. We'll see.
Yeah, okay.
My first problem is the color scheme of the border. I think is just a bit garish, but it fits with the set. The set's very bold, very bright, and of the time in the early to mid 90s, it was all very bold neon colors. Okay, we can look past that. Not a problem. Orange is not a color for the Undertaker. Not really.
No.
However, what I do find is that that's a great contrast to the very dark picture that we have of the Undertaker. So I actually think that works and that blends quite well.
Yeah, sets it off well, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
I think a red would have done it more justice.
Possibly, but a red could have been too dark, and then it could have looked like a really dark image. Could have been. But my main problem with this, look at the WWF logo in the corner.
I've been looking at that,
Yep.
honestly. Yeah.
Now,
It
why?
looks terrible.
Why is there a gap in the F when there's not a gap in the W?
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
For some reason, it really pains me, and I don't know why. It really annoys me, and my eye keeps getting drawn to it, and it has done ever since I saw the card. Now, I like I say, I love and I hate this card in equal measure, because I love it because I think it's a great pose and a great picture, but the color contrast and the WWF logo just, to me, really kind of flip the card completely 180. I keep asking myself, why have they done that? Why? So, unfortunately, if I have ruined the card for you, I apologize. But it is one of my favorites. But as I say, I love and I hate it in equal measure.
Yeah. It's just a card that you'll never see again, if that makes sense.
Mm.
The whole thing of it, it's like you'll never get that orangey green background. Maybe you get the Undertaker pose, and but it'll never be 1993 again, will it?
No, if it went in front of the design committee now, they would laugh and just tell you to just start again. It's not. It wouldn't pass any form of like eye-pleasing test at all. They would just laugh at you and tell you to get out of the office if you put that across the table and say, "I've got a design. Get out. What are you doing?
Yeah,
sort it out."
Dragon's Den.
Yeah, they'd just laugh at you. I mean,
yeah.
But the other thing as well that I want to just draw attention to is actually a very good point. The quality of the edit around his hair to the background. Remember, this is 93, so this may have been designed 92, 93. Someone's painstakingly, probably by hand, gone through and edited his hair to come through that background. Probably.
Good job.
So someone spent a lot of time on this, and I'm picking it apart and giving it a critique, saying it's terrible. I'm not. I love
Someone's crying now, Joe. Yeah. It's like...
But again,
fucking bastard. Fucking...
you're never, you're absolutely right. You'll never see this kind of design again. It doesn't work necessarily. But I love it and hate it in equal measure.
There is like Yokozuna ones and other card stickers from this lot, but as you say, I think the Undertaker one stands out most, doesn't it?
Yeah, the other ones in the set have different color backgrounds. There is hang on, there's I think 12 that have that orange background, and then there's loads of profile ones that don't have that orange background, that's slightly different color. To have this complete subset of these orange backgrounds, because there's a razor, there's I think there's about 12. It's currently on sale on eBay for 60 quid for all 12 of them. I'd love to get them, and I am slowly picking my way through them because I do think it's quite a funny sort of subset. It's an odd color, but I am starting to come around to the idea to having the full sticker set. It's going to take me ages and it's going to be expensive, but I love the set. I think it's a great set. Right.
Ooh.
Now, again, this is technically 93. I reviewed, this is a picture that I took actually prior to me reviewing this. I've actually submitted this exact card to PSA, and it's being graded as we speak. I'm waiting for it to come back. So this is the Catcher Quartet Amigo Spiel German card game, where there are six packs, 6 series they're classed as.
Yeah, something like that. I think, there's so many like variant front covers and boxes and cool cards amongst that lot, isn't there?
It's kind of like I've said in the video before, it's kind of like a mixture between Top Trumps and Magic the Gathering. You pull out cards to do certain actions, and depending on your character, depending on your stats, is depending on whether you can do those actions and you defeat your opponent. What I love about it is the cards are slightly bigger than a normal card, and they're huge photos that they have on the front of those cards. I mean, if we look at the real estate of this bit of card, what's being taken up with text, you've got the A2 logo for the game in the corner, you've got the name underneath, and a little bit of writing at the bottom. The rest of it is the photo.
Yeah, it's nothing much else, isn't it?
Yeah, massive. And some of the photos,
and a bit of border,
a little bit of the border, Some of the photos they've used for this entire set are absolutely original as well. You don't see the photos being used in hardly any print media.
Yeah.
This one is a common photo. It did get used quite a lot, but I think it doesn't feature very often on cards, which is why I think I love this so much, because they have chosen this on the card, obviously.
Yeah. It's a cool card.
What was we saying about the 1991 rookie year one, with him being, there's the coffin, there's the lily.
Yes.
It's all part of the character and it's all starting to work. So you're still reinforcing that character in the picture. So 91, they were doing the coffin, they were doing the lilies, and this is 93. They're still doing that. I mean, this photo could have been 92, could have been, not sure. But they're still reinforcing that for the character, and it works. And you look at the expression on his face, you look at his pose, his whole, it's just a great photo. And to have it on a card, I think, is amazing.
Do you know, I think it looks more like a movie shot than a wrestling shot. Like if someone said to you this was in, I don't know, Ghostbusters or something, like, oh, okay, I believe that, but it's very haunting, isn't it? Like, fits in.
The quality of the photo that I've taken, unfortunately, is a bit bad. The photo,
we get what it is.
Yeah, I've had to blow the photo up because it was actually 3 cards that I took a photo of, and I've had to crop it and then trim this one out. So that's why it doesn't look particularly in focus at the sort of his face. But you get the idea. If you do want a deeper dive on this particular card, it's on. I think I've yet to release it. I've got the video on here waiting to be released. I think I've got to put it up. I do a under the microscope look of the whole card. So if it's not ones that I've already done, it's the last one I've got to do to upload. So check for the page. It'll be up very soon. Right. Next one. Okay. So.
Wow.
Very
modern.
Yeah, we've taken a huge jump here. So from 93 to 2008. Alan and Jinta's cards, for what I know, which isn't much, and please in the comments correct me if I'm wrong, which is likely, they do lots of other versions of sports, and they do a lot of the mini cards as well. So they do baseball, I think they do hockey, I've seen, I think I've seen basketball as well. They do mini cards, and this is a normal size card. They release normally every year, but they don't release every year per sport. So you won't get 2009 wrestlers, 2010 wrestlers, 2000, from what I know.
Yeah.
So I'm not 100% on this. The reason why this is quite difficult for me to really get to the bottom of was because they're not released over here. We don't see them in Europe. They're purely American. The only time we get them over here is if they get sent over here by private collectors. So this whole set, there's 10 wrestlers in the set. And to be honest, the others that are in the set I wasn't particularly impressed with. Wasn't really that bothered by. This one is, as you can see from the text, it's number 6 of 10. To give you an idea of how much little is known about these cards, when I sent this in for grading, this wasn't to PSA, by the way, this was to a UK grading company. They thought, because it said 6 of 10, they thought this card, there was only 10 that existed in the world.
Oh.
So they labeled
instead
it.
of the set, like,
Yeah. Instead of labeling
easy mistake for them.
Absolutely. It's you turn the card over and it does say 6 of 10, and you think, and when I got it back from the grading, I was looking at it thinking, no, that's not right. That's just the card number. This isn't number 6 of the only 10 that have been made. And then I had to dig around and find out myself as to some of the information about it. Now, it is a holographic card, so a shiny foil. I like it because it's, as you can see, it's kind of, it's not a straight cut picture. It's a blended kind of gradient of a picture that's then
more of like a painting, isn't it, than a print,
like almost like a lithograph kind of style. It's a print of a photo that's been sort of print. It's a bit of an odd design.
It's very outlaw looking. So if someone said to you that's Billy the Kid or Wyatt Earp, you could quite believe it, couldn't you? It's like very 1930s America. The hat, the pistols in the pocket.
Very Wild West-esque. I totally get that. And
Yeah.
This, I don't know exactly when the photo was taken. So it could be 2007, could be 2008. But this was at his transition point. Do you remember what I was saying earlier, where he'd gone through the badass and then he started going, "Oh no, I don't want to do
Yeah.
the badass anymore. I'm half badass, half Undertaker, and now I'm going to go 90% Undertaker and 10% badass." And
Yeah.
we're seeing a little bit of that here. That low cut tank top that he kind of ended up sort of wearing for the rest of his sort of career almost. Um,
Yeah.
it's he's kind of taken little elements of both from this particular picture, and I think the reason why I like it, it's an original design. It's not too difficult to get hold of. I think I paid, I think 20 pounds, $25, something like that for the card.
Not too bad.
No,
Mm.
it's high quality. It's a nice card to look at. It's a very high quality card if you feel it. It's quite a thick card. I just liked the card in general. I have no intention of getting the other cards from the set. I've looked at them and I'm not interested.
I like that it's Brooklyn, New York on the bottom.
Mm,
Never noticed that with Allen and Ginter's before, Is that their thing that they do?
no
Because
idea.
I've not picked up any. But
Yeah, no idea.
there's more to it than just a picture, isn't it? It's like, oh, always
Yeah,
getting drawn in with the eye, yeah.
I mean, to give you an idea of sort of how little some of the I'd say audience or some of the little of the community know here in the UK, where Alan and Ginsters pies are concerned. I don't know. The
Got me
mini
hungry.
ones I got sent
Yeah.
with this purchase. I got sent a mini Brock Lesnar. It was like a freebie.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I don't care. I'm not bothered. And then about a year later, I was selling some junk off, and I had all of these cards sort of laid out on the floor. And I took a photo and I put it up on one of the sites. And someone immediately messaged me and said, "How much do you want for that small Brock Lesnar?" And I didn't care. I had no. And whenever anyone messages you for a particular card out of a bundle where you're just letting it go for junk, your interest peaks because you think, "Oh shit, am I going to sell something really cheap here that's worth a bit of money?" So I went online, I dug around, and yeah, the card's only like £4 or £5, nothing special. So I went back to the seller and I said, "Oh, I don't know, fiver posted in the UK. Considering it's going to cost me £1 to post it, £4 for this mini little sort of cigarette card style." And they came back and said, "No, I wouldn't pay you more than £1."
Cheers, mate.
Yeah,
I'll keep hold of that one then.
fine, I'll just keep it. And then
I'd rather put it in the bin.
yeah, I just sold it in the bundle with everything else. And I just thought to myself, that's how little I knew about them, that
Yeah.
a card is worth a few pounds, but nobody wants to pay more than £1. It baffling.
Bizarre. We always learn every day with this game, don't we?
Mm.
It's like, as you say, job lots is a prime one. It's like, have you got card 64 from 1991? Yeah,
No.
I've got it here, mate. How much? £1. Next one, have you got card 64 from 1991? You're the 8th person in 10 minutes to ask. Maybe I should have a look. So,
Yeah, yeah. We've all done it. We've all cottoned on to cards before.
oh, big time. But they're the best lessons,
Oh, absolutely.
It's like, all right, I know for next time to have a look, isn't it?
So I've got
It's all there.
one more card to go through.
Yep.
You know what I was saying about slam attacks earlier?
Oh my no.
Do you remember what I
He
was
hasn't
saying
done it
about
for us.
the card that I was chasing for slam attacks?
Yeah, go.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Oh, that's tonight. All right, okay. I'll give you that one.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
this isn't really, it's a bit of an odd card, this. And I think I've become more obsessed with the lure of getting the card than I actually have of appreciating the card. I don't particularly appreciate the card. I don't think the match was very good. I don't really feel the need to celebrate the match because I don't think it was technically that amazing. The build-up wasn't brilliant. I'm not a fan of AJ Styles. Technically, he's okay, but I think as as a wrestler and as a character,
Really? Oh, I'm surprised.
yeah, not really a massive.
I am surprised. Oh.
So it's the Boneyard relic for those that are listening from the Undertaker and AJ Styles match. It was from the 2021 Top Slam Attack set. You got it mainly from some of the mega tins that they released, but you could acquire it from other means. But most of the ways that I've ever seen it was from the tins. It's a really rare card. It contains, what was it, a bit of dirt or a bit of the cement or something? It was
Dog shit.
Yeah.
So, that'll do. Scrape it in.
I don't know. It's a bit of mud, I think, from the match.
Yeah.
It sounds so ridiculous. But it was quite rare. I don't know how many
Yeah.
released. I can't remember. Maybe 250. I don't know. I'm guessing. I can't remember off the top of my
Yeah.
head. But for me, the allure of hunting this down and pulling it from a set is now starting to consume me and annoy me. I've bought most of the mega tins that were sealed in the UK, and I'm going through and hunting most of them down to try and find this. It's not a very good card.
Mm. Yeah, I've seen better cards, to be fair.
Yeah, it's not very good. It's
But
got
it's
picture.
that
I
one
mean,
that you have to track down.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I've become more obsessed with its rareness than I have with the actual quality of the card. So it's
Yeah.
a red card.
It's the chase, yeah.
You got AJ
Yeah.
Styles on it. You got a picture of Undertaker on this bike rolling through the graveyard, which was part of the idea of the match. And I don't know how much.
Yeah. Good little chase to have, though.
It's it's about $250, $300 to buy
Really?
raw.
Wow.
So it's not a cheap card in any sense, especially even to have it graded. I don't know. I can't remember exactly how much this one. It's $500, I think, for this exact one.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
I'm not. I would get it graded if I had it, but then I wouldn't sell it. I would keep it because I'm kind of desperately trying to chase the card down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a very good card. It's a bit of a sour one to end on, really. I don't know why I've picked it, but
I thought you had another one that you're keeping up your sleeve.
Oh,
Yes, he
yes, look
does.
at that, Kev.
He was playing it all along.
Oh no! Oh, I got you. Ooh.
Brilliant.
Right. So, in
He's
fact,
got us.
I'm going to hand over to you, Kev, to give us a little bit of information about what on earth this card is.
This is from 1993, Disney Limit. There is a version of the green cards. I think the other green card is Tatanka. Then it could be something like Arnie and Jean-Claude Van Damme. Obviously, picking out the Undertaker one is the key one. Much rarer than the red version set, which has, I think it's Macho Man, Ultimate Warrior, Bret Hart, the Mountie, British Bulldog. There's about 8 of them. We'll get a picture up.
Yeah.
Papa Shango.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were easier to find, or so it appears, but having this Undertaker one is pretty impressive, isn't it? It's just, again, when will you ever see that look?
Yeah.
That's what.
There's a few things that kind of attract me to this, and I think the rarity is a big thing to point out. Probably about $60 to buy individually, maybe even a little bit more. So the keen-eyed viewers here will notice that this is a perforated card. So this is from the magazine. You have to pull the inside, pull the insert out, and you would tear the card and you'd perforate the card as you tore it out. So what does that mean? Well, that means you're at greater risk of ripping the card. You're at greater risk of damaging the card. The card is flimsy. So if you take it out of the magazine, what you're going to do with it? Bear in mind, this is early 90s. So top loaders didn't really exist. Not so much.
Very true, yeah.
Not so much for, shall we say, the audience for Disney magazines. Yes, if you were a collector, you'd have top loaders. But if you're the key audience for a Disney magazine, you are tearing that up and it's probably going to kick around your room for a week and then go in the bin.
Yeah.
We've also got the exclusivity with it being German only. So you've got quite a few factors here that roll into why this card is so hard to get hold of. And then if you do get hold of it, how hard it is to find a good quality one.
Yeah. Not easy to find at all.
No.
But there is a wide range of these cards, like movie stars, soccer stars, basketball. Scott Crouch has a lot on his eBay page, and I'm like, wow, one day. But for wrestling, I think there's only about 10, and finding them in itself. Is it the Macho Man one or Ultimate Warrior? They were dirt cheap. Then all of a sudden they just went up to like $40, $50 each, and like, wow. Obviously someone wants them, so
yeah, I think these we've said a few times that we could easily do an episode on just German magazine cards because there's loads. And
Brilliant.
the problem that you find really is the availability and the condition. And that
Yeah.
sounds really like blasé. And of course that's the problem you find with most cards. Of course it is. But this is ramped up 10 times with these particular cards. And for the reasons that I've mentioned, the key audience may not have been into cards. They just happen to be free with the magazine. They wouldn't have a way of storing them unless they kept them in the magazine, and they kept the magazine, which again, as a kid or a teenager, you're not really going to do that. So it
No.
does keeps adding to this rarity of the card. And again, we look at the photo, we look at the quality of the picture. You don't see that particular photo being used very often, so they've chose again quite an individual photo. And think about it. If your key audience, what would you say the key audience is for the age for Disney? Under 10, yeah? Anyone under 10?
Youngsters, isn't it?
Yeah, a key audience.
Very young. Yeah.
Undertaker was a pretty scary character. Papa Shango was a scary character. Kamala, he's not in the set, but there were some scary characters that were in the WWF at the time. And someone's chosen to put that in a kid's magazine. It's probably scared the life out of loads of kids turning the page. Ooh.
So what's an Undertaker, Mum? Or you don't want to know. You don't want to meet him.
Yes, that's the conversation you really want to have to explain to a 7-year-old kid. So it is. It's a rare thing to find, and I'd love to have one. I don't have one, and it's just a great crossover between WWF and Disney, which again, well, I don't know, in years to come, Disney might get so big they might buy all of this stuff anyway. It might happen later on down the line. So yeah,
buy your houses. We'll buy anything Disney. Yeah, it's true. It's like Disney have bought something else. Oh, okay, fair enough. But yeah, very cool card, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I think you're right though. We do need to cover this German magazine stuff with wrestling cards and stickers.
Yeah,
very impressive, isn't it?
Disney, Pop Rocky. There's another one. I know there's another one. Oh, oh no, not the TV time. You've got the TV one. You showed me that the other week.
Yeah,
UK one.
Brilliant. But it must have been huge over in Germany wrestling, just as big as here.
Yeah, I can imagine so. Well, yeah, we've covered it a few times. They did European tours and just went to Germany and then the UK, and that was it. That was the European tour.
Yeah.
Right, so there we are. That's the Undertaker cards.
Yeah. So that's all the cards. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's it. I think what we aimed to do was not really go through as many of the most obvious ones, and we deliberately avoided an autographed cards because they're always going to be really popular.
Yeah.
What was?
Yeah. What's your favorite pieces? Wrestling fans, let us know your favorite Undertaker card in the comments box.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let us know.
Liking what you see, give us a thumbs up, share it, tell your nan and granddad, and get them listening, and the dog and whoever else. Yeah, and go for it.
And if you're not following us on Twitter, Submit Wrestling Cards, and Facebook as well.
Yeah,
come along, join us, join in the conversation. Let us know.
Yeah,
but there we are. Thanks for your time. Thanks for listening, and enjoy the rest of your day. And we'll see you soon.
See you later.
Bye.